The figure of Jesus Christ, besides being synonymous with love and compassion, is one of the most well-known and popular names in the world. Naturally, throughout all these years, there have been many attempts to adapt his stories as told in the Bible. Whether through TV series, movies, soap operas, stage plays, or other forms of art around the world. And some of them stood out so much that we can say they came the closest to portraying Jesus according to the Gospels. And that is why we have selected for you, here in this video, the 5 best portrayals of Jesus in history. Just come along with us. We are going to break them down for you. Number 1. The greatest story ever told. Considering the year this film was released, 1965, probably only a few people here have watched this feature film, which runs for approximately 4 hours. That's right, my friends. It was literally one of the biggest films about Jesus in history, at least in terms of running time. But beyond that, there was also the care its creators took to deliver a detailed final result that was, at the very least, faithful to the original story. The film was directed by George Stevens, and not only was it a massive production for its time, but it also featured a star-studded cast, including Max von Sydow, John Huston, and Sidney Poitier. The film follows the life of Jesus from his birth to his crucifixion and resurrection. Its story is told from the perspectives of different characters such as Mary Magdalene, Peter, and Judas, allowing us to imagine what their relationships with the Master may really have been like. Among the film's greatest strengths is its extremely memorable soundtrack, composed by Alfred Newman, which not only moves us emotionally but also gives the story an epic tone. Its battle scenes and large crowds were also impressive. And for those who enjoy a slower-paced narrative that does not rush through complex scenes, this film will certainly be enjoyable, even though some may consider it too dated because of the limitations of its era. Beyond that, an interesting behind-the-scenes fact is that the production crew faced several problems during filming. The movie was filmed in Morocco, and the intense heat in such an isolated location made filming certain scenes difficult. And to make matters even more challenging, the actor who portrayed Jesus, Max von Sydow, did not speak English fluently and had to memorize his lines phonetically. But in summary, the greatest story ever told is a massive production and an exciting film for fans of the genre. Number 2. Jesus of Nazareth from 1977. You almost certainly recognize this face. It became iconic through this miniseries, which consisted of 4 episodes and was later turned into a film. And if you thought that a 4-hour production was already long enough, brace yourselves, my friends. Jesus of Nazareth from 1977 runs for approximately 6 hours. It is no surprise that it eventually became one of the most watched and best-known productions about the life of Jesus in modern popular culture. Its remarkable performances, dramatic dialogue, and distinctive way of portraying Jesus brought widespread recognition to the actor who, at the time, was relatively unknown, Robert Powell. To this day, his face remains closely associated with the character. For some critics, the portrayal was overly stereotypical, but for others, it was simply the greatest cinematic portrayal of Jesus in history. Without a doubt, this production divided opinions and even generated controversy. But undeniably, those very qualities helped it endure over time, with the production being rebroadcast year after year on network television. The production was directed by Franco Zeffirelli and also portrayed the life of the Savior from his birth to his resurrection. Its cast included major names such as Anne Bancroft and Laurence Olivier in the roles of Mary Magdalene and Nicodemus. The direction has been praised for many reasons. Among them is the way the narrative was handled, which managed to convey the necessary emotion in every scene. Numerous filming locations were used, both in Morocco and Israel, giving the story a greater sense of authenticity and realism. The costumes were carefully selected and designed to portray the clothing of the period as accurately as possible, using linen, leather, and simple fabrics. The art direction also deserves recognition for the construction of enormous and highly detailed sets that help transport viewers back to Jerusalem in the 1st century. Therefore, Jesus of Nazareth is a work of art that still manages to move and captivate us. That is why it is well worth watching. Number 3. The Life of Jesus Christ. This is one of the productions on this list that is not exactly a movie, but rather a series of approximately 50 short films released beginning in 2011, portraying not only the life of Jesus Christ, but also many of the stories from the New Testament. Together, they have a total runtime of approximately 3 hours. The playlist containing the entire collection of short videos can currently be found on YouTube and on the website of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which was largely responsible for the production, dubbing, and free distribution of the project. At the time of filming, in order to achieve greater realism, the church itself built a miniature Jerusalem in the city of Goshen, in the U.S. state of Utah, following the guidance of experts. The set still stands today, having been transformed into a kind of museum and conference center, while also serving as a filming location for more recent productions, such as the series The Chosen. You can clearly see how much effort went into recreating every detail of the architecture, the objects and tools used in Jerusalem during that period, and even the dialogue, which was taken directly from the words of Jesus, without additions or creative liberties. The production featured around 65 actors, as well as hundreds of extras. And what is even more surprising is that, to this day, very little has been revealed about those responsible for directing it, or about the full cast. In fact, it took a tremendous amount of effort for us to discover even the name of the actor who portrayed Jesus, John Foss. The creator's goal was to produce a work that was completely independent, where not even the leading actors would receive the spotlight, but where the production itself could serve as a visual biblical illustration of New Testament passages, purely for teaching purposes. So, quite simply, there is almost no information available about what happened behind the scenes. John Foss maintains a relatively private presence online. What we do know about him is that he directed several films as well as other short productions, including The Christ Child, which tells the story of the birth of Christ. Although the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was responsible for producing these films, the work itself does not focus on or explicitly promote that religion. Instead, it is primarily concerned with portraying what is described in the 4 Gospels of the Christian Bible. Number 4, The Passion of the Christ. And now we come to one of the biggest films not only about the life of Jesus, but in cinematic history. The Passion of the Christ was a phenomenon. It was embraced by audiences around the world. When it was released in 2004, becoming one of the highest-grossing biblical films in history and setting major box office records for an R-rated movie. And all of this happened despite enormous criticism from parts of Hollywood, which had never exactly been known for embracing the religious genre. The Passion of the Christ was directed by Mel Gibson and was based on the biblical account of the crucifixion, depicting the final 12 hours of Jesus Christ's earthly life. Jesus was portrayed by Jim Caviezel, who later said that the role affected his career and that some doors in Hollywood were closed to him because his image had become so strongly associated with Jesus. The production made a major effort to deliver a sense of authenticity to audiences. For example, the dialogue was performed in Aramaic and Latin, languages associated with the world in which Jesus lived. However, despite its enormous commercial success, the film became highly controversial because of its extremely graphic scenes of violence. Some critics also accused the film of anti-Semitism and argued that it portrayed Jewish characters negatively. But after years of discussion, plans for a sequel eventually moved forward, leaving its enormous fan base eager to discover what will be portrayed next on the big screen. And number 5, The Chosen. One of the most popular series in the Christian world today. The Chosen is an independent American production that was initially financed largely through crowdfunding and has continued reaching millions of people around the world. As the series has progressed through multiple seasons, The Chosen has become a major success with audiences and has received strong ratings on well-known entertainment platforms. One of the reasons for its success is its distinctive approach to portraying the life of Jesus through the perspectives of his disciples. This creates a greater emotional impact as we become immersed in the story and begin to identify with the characters. We feel alongside them the enormous weight and responsibility that must have come with following the Messiah. Jonathan Roumie is the actor responsible for bringing this version of Jesus to life. A Jesus who feels deeply human and approachable while at the same time unmistakably divine. Without a doubt, this has been one of the main reasons audiences have connected so strongly with the series. The Chosen brought something different to faith-based entertainment. A religious production that can feel warm, natural, and even lighthearted, without trying to please everyone, but simply seeking to tell a story that can be universal, accessible across cultures, and faithful to the figure of Jesus Christ, while also reaching even those who live outside a religious bubble. And for these and many other reasons, The Chosen is deservedly a tremendous success, and perhaps it will go where no other production in this genre has gone before. And with that, we come to the end of our list of the best portrayals of Jesus. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have a suggestion for another movie or production that we may have missed, leave it for us in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, now is your chance to support the channel. I ask you to leave a like and share this video with someone else to help us grow here on this platform. And if you haven't turned on the notification bell yet, make sure you do so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. That's all from me for now, but I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.